goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Elaine Woolscroft.
How are you guys? Don't tell me now, just save it for later.
He doesn't actually care.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. So, yeah, we're on episode 32.
Hey, I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Just play along. This airs after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this now, you're probably like zoned out on turkey. You're like, I never want to see a fucking turkey ever again.
You're outside freezing because your Uncle Ted won't stop talking about Trump, so you needed to get out of the house even though you're freezing to death slowly.
You're taking 17 smoke breaks. You don't smoke.
Exactly. Your Uncle Ted's just going like, listen, man, we're going to get the country back now. We're going to keep getting the country back. I'm going to tell you something. It's coming back. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
I punched a black guy at Applebee's. It was great.
God.
Oh, my God.
We don't advocate for that. Just want to go ahead and put that disclaimer on there. We're doing a bit. That's all it is. But no, yeah. So you're probably zoned out, or you're trying to escape from your Uncle Ted, or you could have like that really old grandma that thinks that all the racism and bullshit that we have now is normal still. Like she's like, well, back in my day, it wasn't that big a deal. I don't know what the big deal is.
She still uses like the word mulatto. You know?
God.
Oh my God, John.
What?
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Or it could be a perfectly normal day and no one in your vicinity is being racist and you're just like at the mall and you don't want anyone to fucking talk to you, so your headphones
true.
on
That's
and
true
we're talking
too.
to you and you're enjoying our show while you do the Black Friday shopping.
Yes, that's
right?
true. That's very true too. You could
Nailed
be
it.
in the midst of the gladiatorial matchup known as Black Friday. You know? Exactly. You probably have someone's head on a spike as you're holding your DVD or Blu-ray player, and you're listening to our awesome show. So, yeah, we got a lot to go over today, don't we?
We do. We have a really cool news story for you guys today, actually.
Somebody was feeling the force.
Whoa, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys heard, but last week the story broke. So Carrie Fisher has written another book. She's written a couple of books about her life to this point. I really enjoyed Wishful Drinking. That was her first. Mm-hmm. And she's coming out with The Princess Diarist.
Diarist.
Instead of Princess Diaries. And I guess what had happened is
She's going to get sued.
I don't know how much you guys know about her background, but she suffered pretty intensely with, obviously, substance abuse, in the 70s, 80s.
Didn't they say that, like, in Return of the Jedi, she had, like, the Coke pinky finger?
It might have been Empire, but yeah, she had, the extra long fingernail that, Coke heads use to...
you do a little bump.
Right. So,
also to thin out those lines, get those lines straight,
Right, so...
But yes, please
So
continue.
she's had some problems.
Script lines weren't the only thing she was doing.
She did a lot to try to treat her depression and anxiety. She tried electroshock therapy back in the day. And it was very experimental.
That sounds like that would work. Like,
well,
I'm going to go electrocute my brain.
She did it in, like, the 80s or 90s.
They didn't know back then.
Know.
I mean, come on.
So when she did it, they had no idea. But what this means is that she has a lot of holes in her memory. So, like, it fried a lot of her memories out of her brain. That's what it does.
Yeah.
And so she was going back, I guess, through a bunch of old journals.
Did it get rid of the holiday special, the Star Wars holiday special for her?
I hope so.
We can only hope that it fried that memory away.
That's our wish for you, Carrie. But she was going through old journals, to write this book. And then it was actually back when she originally played Princess Leia.
Yeah.
She was in The Force Awakens last year. She was going through old stuff, I think, to kind of like, remember how she played Leia.
Right.
But she came across old journals and she and decided to put in her book the fact that she and Harrison Ford during the Star Wars years, she and Harrison Ford had a 3-month affair.
I had to do that. I had to.
The hate that I feel for your book right now is so intense. Because, I wish everybody could just see how pleased you fuckers look with yourselves. You guys look so
I've got my coffee be like, yes.
You smug
it's delicious.
You smug a dipshit.
Hey, let's say he just So he put his blaster at her side. That's what you're saying.
I
gotta ask. Did he shoot first?
Come on,
guys!
Bam!
A million of them.
Bam! I got him.
We're dirty and nerdy. This could go on all night.
Hey, it was very helpful for her to do that, so he didn't have to use his hands solo.
I think we should just see how long John can go. Truly, just see how long he can go. So okay,
so yeah, they had some sex.
So this is a whole.
I want to know
thing.
who Chewie was fucking.
You can't do that. You can't do that when I'm drinking coffee, okay, man?
Shaggy Ottoman, just going to town.
Hey, I mean, we're going to talk about animals having sex with
Jesus
humans
Christ.
in a little bit, so it's going to be a good time. But anyway, so that's like the big story this, last week. And then this week...
she regretted saying it.
Well, I mean, Harrison Ford's a very intensely private person.
Yeah.
She had talked to him about it ahead of time and was like, hey, here's what's happening, here's what I'm going to do. And he was like, lawyer up, but he was like kidding, but he's like kind of not kidding.
Was he, was he serious about it? Is he really going...
It's one of those things. Come on. He couldn't keep it a secret forever. I mean... The big problem, of course,
is that really... Well, here's my thing. Is it really going to destroy his image?
I mean, the big problem is, he was married with 2 children at the time, and if he didn't tell any of them at the time, this would be a shitty way to find out.
I guarantee you they knew.
I mean, you would assume so.
Which is, I guess protecting the kids, but he's not even with that woman anymore.
Right.
So,
right, but I don't know. It would still feel shitty
I mean,
to find
the way I see it is there's probably a good chance that they knew about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying there's not, but I don't think he's super happy with her right now.
I just think it's sad
because he was with Mary Marquardt at the time. Now his second wife,
who is that?
His first wife, Mary Marquardt.
Is she famous or no?
Not that I'm aware of. Now his second wife was his second wife was Melissa Matheson. She's actually the woman who wrote E.T. She wrote the script for E.T.
Oh shit!
But his first wife, I'm not too familiar with her. It doesn't say too much. Now, actually, his second wife his second wife died.
Yeah.
And then
he was married to Callista Flockhart for a while.
Yeah,
right?
he's with. I think that's who he's with.
Is that who he's with now? Still?
Are we sure
they
that
were
she
married in
didn't kill
2010.
herself because she had to live with Harrison Ford?
What?
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 Hey, he's a weirdo. Have you guys ever seen him in interviews? He is a goddamn weirdo.
Well, I mean, I just figured nowadays he's just kind of like,
Yeah, like whatever.
I'm fucking Han Solo.
He hasn't cared since Air Force One.
That was the last time he cared. But anyway,
which is the best movie to watch at 3 a.m. Like, I'll be ready to go to bed and be like, Air Force One's on TBS. I'm probably gonna stay up.
My
and
guess
watch
is that's what Donald Trump watched before he decided he wanted to run. He was like,
I am the president of the United States.
I'm gonna go ahead and
get off my plane.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But he's got tiny hands.
I just think it's sad that just like in the movies, once again, nobody wanted to fuck Mark Hamill.
No, that's so mean. Anyway, so
Mark
the whole
Hamill.
point of the story, she's come out with this admittance, and I guess there's more details in the book. Of
course there
that's
are.
coming out. I wanted to read the book anyway. Like I said,
Now you really want to read the book.
Her first book, I cried. I laughed so hard reading the first one. She so has a measure of herself and does not bullshit herself.
I've seen her comedy specials. They're
She's
hilarious.
Fucking hysterical. A lot of her comedy specials are from her books. They're really good. But anyway, so she's revealed this information. Harrison Ford's not super happy with her, but I think what's, a shame about it too, though, is she was 19 and he was 33, and she had even admitted, I wanted him to love me. And, she says a lot of stuff about it that's, very 19-year-old, very sad,
That's what I
just wanted him to, love me,
At 19, you really don't know what the hell you're doing at that point.
No, you don't at all.
I mean, it's all legal,
Right. It's not like...
It still seems... It's, and I know that, being a celebrity makes you probably, a little bit more mature and a little more...
you have to grow up faster.
But banging a 19-year-old when you're 33 is kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy.
They still do it. No, I don't think it's creepy. I mean...
you just have to know that you're in totally different areas of life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the thing, too.
I guess it was only fitting because most of Empire Strikes Back is Han Solo sexually harassing her.
It's true.
It's true.
Come on, give me a piece. Come on.
You're like, yeah, I see you. You want my dick.
Here, let me just grab the top of the titty. That's a real nice tender.
It's only a 14-year age gap, and I mean, I can't really say much about age gaps. My parents were 16 years apart.
Yeah.
But we can say a lot about gaps, and so apparently so can Carrie Fisher.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So anyway, but I mean, that's like a big story because a lot
Yeah.
of people like shipped them like so hard, like in real life and like in the past and all that stuff. So I mean, I don't know, that was like a big deal, and like I guess everybody's like super shocked, and she was kind of surprised.
I wasn't really shocked when I saw it. I was just kind of like, okay, well, this kind of confirms what people always kind of thought. You know,
Yeah,
everyone kind of thought that.
Well, a lot of people were really
Anyway.
surprised. That's the thing. Like, people were really shocked, and Carrie herself has said, like, I didn't really think it'd be that big of a surprise.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, when I read it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually said
It was the
out loud
70s.
when I read it. I was like, huh, good for her. Like, that's literally all I said. I was like, meh,
You're like, oh,
good job, girl. You
she got
did
herself
it.
a piece of Han Solo. Good for her.
Yeah, well, you know, he stuffed her full of his protein.
Oh.
And speaking of stuffing protein, we saw some Thanksgiving movies.
Oh, God, we really did.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to blame John for these because he picked them.
I told him, I was like, I'm mad at you.
I mean,
This
you
is
picked.
all your fault.
Let me tell you something. I know it's difficult to find good quality, really good Oscar-worthy Thanksgiving movies. I really do. You
Dude,
know,
I would
How
settle
Home
for
Sweet Home
Razzie-worthy
got
Oscar.
overlooked for the Oscar, I'll never understand.
I mean, Jake.
Body by Jake
Body by
nailed
Jake
it.
should have had it.
Oscar movies, my ass. I would have settled if these were fit for a fucking Razzie, but oh my good God,
These
you
were
guys.
bad.
No, the word is unforgivable. That's the word you want. It's unforgivable.
I'm getting that you hated these more than I did.
Oh no one has ever hated a movie more than I hated Thankskilling.
Thanksgiving.
Oh my good God.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was offended.
You were.
You know,
Offended at how bad it was.
guys, it turns out Thanksgiving does not have as many like good quality movies as Halloween and Christmas, I guess.
It's weird.
The one I always go to is not really a horror movie per se, but I like the movie Dutch with Ed O'Neill.
Ooh.
You know, where he goes ahead and he's like the stepfather, and he's got this spoiled little brat kid, and he like tortures him basically on the drive to Thanksgiving.
Sweet.
Yes, yeah.
I haven't heard
I haven't
of that.
seen
In
that.
comedic-
No,
in comedic
I saw
proportions,
that
of course.
like many years
Same here.
ago. Yeah,
You know,
but there's Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. But there aren't a whole lot of them. Like they're just
Didn't Homeward Bound take place around Thanksgiving?
those movies all had like Thanksgiving at the end of it, or some sort of food feast thing that you're gonna do. You know, at the end of it, it's like, oh, all the home sweet home bullshit. It's like, yeah, but they didn't tell you whether it was Thanksgiving or not.
I like Homeward Bound too, Lost in San Francisco, because Chance finds out he's pansexual.
What?
What?
Oh, wait, am I not remembering that movie correctly?
No,
what?
you're not.
What?
I think you're willfully misremembering
Yeah, I think
it.
you're adding details.
I
that
thought
you want
Chance
to see
banged a
in there.
transgender cat in that movie.
I
didn't he?
think
I think you need to stop talking about
think
stuff
you
that's not
really-
real.
Yeah.
Let's focus.
so. The first bit is kind of our hors d'oeuvre,
Or a moose bouche, if you will.
our moose bouche, yes, and that would be the awesome Thanksgiving trailer directed by Eli Roth.
Right. Okay. So like this
Thanksgiving.
one was okay.
Thanksgiving.
This one was okay because so this was a part of the
Grindhouse.
enterprise
Yeah.
that he had done with Rodriguez.
Well, it was a
or
combination.
Rodriguez and Tarantino had
Yes.
done, and they had Eli.
They
kinda
had
wrapped up
Eli,
in
they
it.
had
Edgar-
Rob Zombie, Edgar Wright,
Right, yeah.
all do these fake trailers. And Thanksgiving was one of the best ones out of
Yeah,
it.
and I think it was in part because at that time there was only just Home Sweet Home as far as like Thanksgiving
Yes.
slasher movies had gone.
Yeah, Thanksgiving had not come out yet.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about the Thanksgiving
Although
trailer,
it was filmed around the same time.
really,
It was
that's
filmed in
true.
07, and that's when Grindhouse came out.
no kidding.
It was around 07.
Wow, because
And they released it
In
in
09,
09.
right?
It
Yeah.
got picked up for distribution
Interesting.
in 09. So
Interesting.
this might have been influencing,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what I thought was because here's the thing, they both aspire to doing some seriously high camp.
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving, the trailer succeeds where Thanksgiving.
Well, I
miserably
don't think
fails.
Home Sweet Home intended in any way to be humorous.
Well, no, that one didn't. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it
No,
did.
she was just saying
Yeah.
I'm
in
saying
general.
that like Thanksgiving and Thankskilling had the
different.
same
Oh,
approach.
okay, both
Yeah.
of them. Okay.
And one fucking failed.
One was more, I would say, if you're going to take the dark comedy route, with which both of them do. One is more surgical, and the other's a fucking sledgehammer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that, I don't mean Sledgehammer in a good way. I mean Sledgehammer in a bad way. Okay? Thanksgiving, the trailer, is very smart. It pulls a lot of the same...
Smart, that's the word.
It pulls a lot of the slasher 80s movies tropes. And these tropes are not necessarily from the well-known slasher movies either. Like, these are from kind of like the knockoffs, like Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Like, they pull a lot of that really, like, bullshit. Like, I'm almost thinking of, like, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, just about every holiday got their own, movie. There's April Fool's Day. There's New Year's Eve. Evil.
New
Yes,
Year's Evil.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And
See what they did there?
St. Valentine's Day.
Yeah, they made one, and then they remade it.
Or Valentine. Yeah, was that the?
Well, that was years later.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But
There's
we're
My
talking,
Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
My Bloody
Yeah.
Valentine.
And Valentine's Day with Denise Richards.
But that came
I
out
thought that
years.
was just Valentine. That's the one with David Boreanaz, right?
Is it
Yeah.
called Valentine?
It's just called Valentine.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
I thought.
But
That
but that
movie's
one
fucking horrible.
it
By the
is
way.
terrible.
So bad.
But that
So
one
bad.
came out years later though. So but these are all pulling from that the oversaturation point of slasher movies.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's that I'd have to say basically from 1982 all the way up to maybe 1989. That group of films where they were literally copycats of Freddy and Jason. Mm-hmm. And none of them were really that good. But they all had the same kind of soundtracks. Like they pulled the, I love the scene where the girl's jumping and she's undressing, and you can clearly hear the soundtrack from Creepshow in it. Did you pick up that one? Where
No.
Okay, well you
But
guys.
now I'm going to be rewatching
Now
it.
you're gonna realize Creepshow, but the sequence where it's the one where Ted Danson is
Being buried alive.
and being floated, and Leslie
By-
Nielsen's in
by
it. And the
Leslie
music
Nielsen.
that's playing in there is the same one. It's the same
Wow,
track.
That's funny.
Doesn't that just sound like a fever dream you had? Oh, man, I just dreamt that Leslie Nielsen buried Ted Danson up to his neck in sand.
I'm sorry, what's what? I'm gonna go ahead and
But
shoot you.
but the Thanksgiving trailer is very tongue in cheek. It's very smart. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Really great plays on words. Like when at one point there's just a girl on a trampoline, because why not?
Why not?
And she's totally topless, and she's like,
White meat, dark meat, all will be carved.
I mean, come on, that's fucking funny. She's like showing her ass and her
And then she just
boobies
gets
and, like,
basically
and her,
impaled
like-
through the vagina.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Hey, there's a chance it went like straight up the middle and maybe didn't do that much damage.
This thing was horizontal. It was
Dude,
horizontal. It
let
wasn't-
me just tell you,
wasn't
bros, little
vertical,
something.
bud.
Like, there are times when a tampon made of cotton hurts. That knife hurts. So fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
So if it went the other way now, it looks like the emergency room, has like the
cross.
Yeah, it's a cross,
Yeah, but you have that. You also have like this the tropes of the girl having sex in the car. Eli Roth gets decapitated, and then in the same 5 seconds later, she's now freaking out and with Bobby now.
Yeah, oh
You know?
yeah, with another dude.
And making out with him.
That's just, and then his head comes up.
That
Like,
gets cut off.
That shit's funny. Like, it is hilarious.
I would love to see this movie. Like,
Well,
there's been a lot of rumors.
They
that they're
were
making
going
it.
to.
Yeah.
They were going to make it into a full-fledged movie.
But that would ruin it. It works perfectly
think
in
it
the
would.
trailer format.
Maybe.
I think that the promise of the film is so much
well,
greater than anything
you're
they could
thinking
deliver.
of kind of what happened to Machete.
Yeah.
'Cause
Or Hobo with a Shotgun.
Or Hobo with a Shotgun. Like,
Yeah.
I like the Hobo with a Shotgun movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I really like that. It expanded upon the trailer.
Yeah, but there's just something beautiful about the trailer.
Yeah.
Because they knew exactly what they were working with. They did a really good job for what they
Yeah.
had, and like it's like a perfect.
And
little snack.
it's also the effects in it are hilarious.
oh,
Like,
the
they're
whole
really
thing's
good,
great.
and
It's
they're
really good.
hilarious too. Like, I remember I saw a Grindhouse in the theater, and I
So did
actually
we.
went to the whole like double feature thing. You
Yeah,
know?
we did too.
You guys did too, and not a whole lot of people did, and that's kind of why it wasn't nearly as successful.
Interesting.
But I was dying laughing during this trailer,
Oh, me
especially
too.
with like the ending where you find out that the killer goes ahead, who's dressed as a pilgrim, mind you, takes a woman and cooks her and turns her into like a Thanksgiving turkey,
Dresses her, yeah.
and dresses her like one, and then fucks the turkey with her head.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's just like, holy shit! I've
It's
never
really
seen
messed
that.
up. No, I remember like John and I laughed the whole time. It was funny. Like, it was very
Well-
cleverly done.
Well, it's obviously they're playing on who would make a horror movie about Thanksgiving. Like, that just seems so silly.
Yeah.
It's going to be hilarious. But no, but they did it. multiple times, and we watched a couple of them.
We did.
Fuck us.
Oh my god, we really did. And I kind of slept through the second one. I was falling asleep in and out of the second one because it was really bad. I mean, really, really bad. But I want to start first with the main course, because Home Sweet Home is kind of like the dessert. Okay? So you
Dessert implies that it's enjoyable in some way.
Well,
it's like pecan pie. You know, nobody likes
I love pecan pie.
Hey, I like pecan pie.
Thank you, Brian.
I like any kind of pie. But
apparently Harrison Ford likes poontang pie.
Jesus Christ, John.
He likes some Leia pie. That's what he likes. Okay? But basically, we have Thankskilling. Which I didn't know existed until John told me about it.
Aren't you glad that he's your friend?
I really am. You don't really need Netflix or IMDb or anything like that when you've got John Woolscroft over here who just tells you these really obscure, horrible movies that exist. Like, I didn't know what the fuck Elves was until we watched it like 2 years ago. And
unlike Thankskilling, I cannot suggest Elves enough. But you should definitely see that.
But, I didn't know what the fuck Thankskilling was. I thought you were going to tell me to watch, like, Poultrygeist. Like, I thought that was what I was going to watch.
Yes.
Like, at least that's a trauma film. I could stand that. But no, instead I get Thankskilling.
No, you guys,
Which, oh my God.
This movie is so bad.
It really is.
How bad is it?
It throws other movies into perspective for you. Like, I found myself, like, clawing at my wrists, like, wishing that I was watching Birdemic instead. I found myself...
This one wasn't as bad as Birdemic was.
No,
in terms of technical merit, this one was not nearly as bad.
He might have a point there.
As Birdemic was.
Okay, I will concede that maybe the people behind the camera were slightly more competent than in Birdemic.
I mean, granted, they were ripping off their After Effects stuff from Andrew Kramer on Video Copilot. But I could tell that right off the bat.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, but the dialogue and
yeah.
I would like to point out, and you fuckers found this out before I could drop the truth bomb on you. This movie had 5 writers, and I don't understand how. Because I'm telling you guys, like, this made me yearn for, like, the subtle commentary on life and, like, beautiful satire of The Room. Like, this movie made The Room seem like a master fucking piece. Like, this movie is so bad. Like, I was watching it, and I was like, in my head, I was like, this is unforgivable. This is unwatchable.
I saw it twice.
And I have to watch it for this fucking show. Like,
I saw it
so
twice.
Bad. It was so bad.
Right before you guys came in, I was watching it because I was like, I didn't really get it the first time. I was just kind of like purely absorbing the shit sandwich.
I mean, there's the main arc of the story, basically.
All right. Well, no, here I can handle.
Do you want to go ahead and
do me a favor, Elaine? Get your like the timer of the stopwatch on your phone.
Oh,
you're gonna go ahead and give us your time?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, last week, we went into detail on Sausage Party because, like, there was a lot of underlying, themes to the movie and important things that we had to mention here. I'm going to break down.
We got a timer here.
Ready?
Okay.
Right, 3,
2, 1, go.
Dog in the wood pees on the ground and ends up bringing a evil turkey who's 505 years old back to life, and he has to kill a bunch of people he sees, and the first people he sees are 5 teenagers, and he kills 4 of them, and then he dies.
14.35 seconds.
That's the whole movie.
You did forget the part of the pilgrim with the titties, so we need to talk
true.
about those titties.
First shot in the entire movie. You want to know? Basically, this shot sets the entire movie right there for you. Is a pilgrim titty
close up of a nip. That's the
beginning that's of the movie. It. Yeah. First shot's a nip.
Well, and all you need to know about this movie is the poster, the box art. All says
MySpace
tits in the first 10 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what I found interesting was the poster actually had a MySpace address.
And it was 09.
I mean,
even by then, like 09, like MySpace
09,
was
MySpace kind of
it
was going downhill.
I don't think I've used MySpace since like 07.
Yeah,
maybe 08. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so as John had mentioned, the film basically has your quintessential stereotypes of really bad horror movies.
But none of
teenagers.
it works. Like none of I need to say again that it had 5 writers, and I don't fucking
You're
know
so
how.
exasperated.
I'm
You're
really
upset.
I'm
You're
upset.
really
Like,
upset
I'm
about
too
that.
warm, and like I'm sweating, and like really mad. But like the thing is, like the dialogue was so bad, and everything was like a strange non sequitur. You know, like how in The Room where the big joke is like Lisa's mom has the breast cancer and it's never mentioned again.
Yeah.
How about when the sheriff's wife just makes him the pot of shit coffee and is like, I want a divorce? Like,
that was
their attempt at like random humor. Like,
that was throughout the whole damn movie.
Yeah.
Like you literally have that. Like the biggest thing I could say, like as you mentioned the breast cancer mom in The Room.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I saw from this was the joke about the character Ali, and how her legs are harder to close than the Jean-Benet Ramsey case. Yeah. And they mentioned it 3 times.
Well,
like it's brand new. Like no one said the fucking dialogue before.
That's the thing. Like the one character says it the first time, and they all laugh like,
ha ha, that's
burn.
funny.
The second time she says it, the exact same thing again, and they laugh at it again.
And they laugh at like it's brand new.
Yeah.
Like no, and they're like, oh, that's a good joke.
So
Like fuck
weird.
you, it's not.
The third time was minorly clever when the dorky kid gets it
Darren.
wrong. Yeah, and says, harder to close than Jean-Benet Ramsey's legs.
Yeah.
So obviously they did turn it on its head a little.
No,
They
they
didn't. You're giving them way too much credit. But this movie basically, as you said, follows a turkey that's killing everybody. But there's a lot of really goofy shit in this. Like there's a
no
side.
consistency
Well, there's a
to it.
side plot with Oscar the Hermit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Oscar the fucking Hermit, who's played by, I'm not kidding, it's on IMDb, General Bastard.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
his name.
he did some of the music for the movie.
General Bastard, and all his thing is his whole motivation is he's trying to avenge the death of his dog Flassie.
The dog.
Flassie, yeah.
Flassie, my Flassie, my dog. Like that's quite
That's the dog
literally
that
what the
pissed on
guys.
the totem.
Yes,
But did you guys get the feeling that this should have been a softcore porn? Like the type of humor and the bad production
the
value.
tit in the
bit.
first shot kind of led me to think
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
But then later in the movie, there's a sex scene.
with Ali.
Yeah, and with an actor we have never met before,
Greg.
and the girl that plays the dumb girl in the movie, and they're like fully clothed banging. I guess it must have not been in the contract, no nudity for her.
I guess so, but
Yeah.
it was just this movie kind of just reminded me of like a bunch of student filmmakers who gathered $3,500 together and said, "Where's
was
going
the
to
budget?"
Which was the budget? $3,500, and they're just like, "Let's go ahead and just make a terrible fucking movie for shits and giggles."
Yeah, I'm
And-
not doing anything
and
this weekend.
yeah, what are you doing this weekend? And there was just so much terrible dialogue. Like that was the thing
the
for me.
dialogue was awful.
That was the worst part.
It couldn't have been
But
worse.
the best dialogue was reserved for the fucking turkey.
Well, he had those like
He had
cheesy
the best one-liners.
and it's weird because like
He had
that,
the Arnie one-liners,
but that almost made it so
Gobble,
meta.
gobble, motherfucker.
And that was
Lord,
almost like
Steve
so
Bennett.
meta. You were like, maybe they know what they're doing, but the rest of the writing was so awful. You were like, wait, no, fuck, like that. He doesn't know what he's
Well,
doing.
the
at
movie
all.
didn't go for it enough. Like, so when they did get meta or break the fourth wall or extremely goofy, it just didn't connect because the movie should have either completely gone for it or done what would have even been funnier is if they took it deadly serious.
Well,
And it's just they didn't do either correctly.
well, no, and on top of that, I have never seen a movie with this many fucking plot holes in it.
It was
And like
gross.
those kind of like plot points that just pop up from almost like the
there were
Deus
plot
Ex-
points in this movie?
well, no, just like the plot points that pop up from like the
There
Deus
were
Ex
goals,
Machina.
I'll give it
Like
that.
for example, this was my favorite one. Was towards the end when they're like, "Oh wow, we got to figure out how to kill this turkey," and they're like, "Oh," and the Kristen character, who's the goody two shoes girl, she's like, "Oh well, my dad, the sheriff, has a bunch of books in his
A book
garage, and maybe there's a book in there about turkeys." And it's like, okay, so your sheriff hillbilly, father apparently in his spare time collects rare books about fucking turkeys.
Wait, that was the problem you had with that
yes.
section of the movie, and not the fact that the turkey killed her father, wore his mask over his turkey fucking face, and all of the kids
I love that
thought
part.
he
I thought
was
that part
a
was
human.
funny. I thought that part was funny.
Fuck that! I wanted to throw my computer across the room.
That's
It's fucking
exactly
dumb.
that's
It's
exactly
dumb.
what I'm talking about when I said this film is inconsistent in that these characters were almost tried to portray them as like normal people.
Yeah.
But yet they get thrown off by a turkey wearing human skin over his face. You should have gone for it completely.
Well, that's why it
and
didn't
made
work.
them so
That's what I'm saying.
absurdly stupid from the beginning that they would fall for it.
That's
Like,
what I'm
like
saying.
a
That's
South
why it
Park
didn't work.
episode.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. That's why it didn't work because it was not given to
or
us
maybe
that
in
way
this
at the
like
beginning.
for me that kind of reminded me a little bit of Hellraiser.
Oh yeah,
because at the end of Hellraiser, you've got the character Frank, who's ripped off the skin of, Christy's father, and has put it on his face, and you could clearly see in Hellraiser that he's wearing someone's skin. It's not a good effect. It looks like he's wearing someone's skin.
Right.
So I mean, I was okay with that part. I just had a problem with like the suspension of disbelief was not there.
No, absolutely
There was no
not.
suspension of
because, like John
disbelief.
said, there was no consistency.
Right.
Also, we need to rewind to the sex scene because I don't know why the fuck neither of you mentioned that in the middle of the sex
turkey
scene,
fucks
Some
her?
tape.
Stop it. The human man is murdered
Yeah.
by Turkey, and then Turkey finishes fucking the girl. Like, what? What is happening? Why did we not mention that yet?
There's some tape, some turkey rape.
There's some turkey rape.
Yeah, there was some turf fucking.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Turf fucking.
You're welcome.
We're going to have to struggle
Ooh,
for the Glamour one
that's-
this week. I mean,
yeah.
there's so much to pick
There
from.
really is. This is tough.
Just this movie was like a turducken of bullshit. It was just
A
like
turfucking of bullshit.
bad writing, stuffed inside of a titty, stuffed inside of a stupid turkey, stuffed inside of a bullshit $3,000 budget, and I had to watch it, and it was awful.
And then, jizzed on by Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Hey, every turducken needs some gravy.
Oh, yeah. But it was just...
Like,
it
I'm
was a
like
terrible
flushed.
fucking
I'm so
movie.
upset. This movie was so bad.
Yeah.
This movie is not worth getting that upset over.
I'm upset.
But were you guys a little bothered by the fact that having like a box full of books is considered a book collection?
Yes.
Oh, like making you an expert.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
some
and
guy?
like highly intelligent, like that he has more than like one book. You know?
Well, or how about the fact that the daring character's like, oh, I found the book. And it's dusty. And he reads it and he's like, oh, wow. Yeah, it tells us we have to go ahead and remove the amulet on the turkey that we don't know about until now.
But he keeps it in
And
his
he-
feathers.
and
Like, they just know
He keeps it in his plumage. And, on top of that, he's like, oh, well, I have to decipher the code. It's written in math. Math. Like, I'm not joking. That's literally what the dialogue is. Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. What about the part where, like, the like, slovenly redneck gets murdered?
Billy?
And then the nerd has a really hard time with it, and he has that weird,
The
like,
ice
trippy
cream?
montage.
Yeah.
Like, that was so weird.
No, but
Oh,
he
God.
doesn't just have a montage. There's a song that goes along with it, too.
know.
It's
It
the
was so
Billy,
painful.
That's where the movie went off the
Billy.
rails.
It was so, oh, my God. It
Well-
just, everything about it just made me so sad.
Yeah, and just for the conveniences of the movie, like, hey guys, I'm gonna leave now so I could go die, you know. And they're just like, yeah, sure, go and leave. And nobody cares at all about death in this movie.
No, they
Like,
really
both
don't.
these two characters, their parents have been brutally murdered.
The
and they're
best,
like,
best one of that was the Johnny character, because he's like, he comes home, he's talking to his dad.
Yeah.
His dad gets murdered by the fucking turkey, and then he walks around and he's like, he sees his mom got her eyes pecked out, and the next shot of him is in the truck going, oh God, my mom, my dad. He's not crying. It's just the camera shaking.
Yeah,
and
that's-
going, oh,
that's the-
mom and dad are dead.
That's the
at
thing
the end of the
too,
movie,
'cause,
when they
like,
think they've destroyed the turkey, like, let's all just go watch a movie and be buds. No, hours ago, your parents were brutally
yeah,
murdered.
you have
Yeah.
arrangements to make.
Yeah.
You have to call
Yeah.
the coroner
Yeah.
several times.
You want
I
to
mean,
call
the
the
sheriff's
police,
dead,
or just
so I mean,
mourn,
you know.
if nothing else.
That's why I said call the coroner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Oh,
well, too, like, I feel like we're being, very on the, like, technical aspect of things. We also need to address the fact that, like, the acting in this was really, really, really bad, too.
yeah.
I mean, really, really bad. Like, I mean, we all, we both, we all went to school for this.
Yeah,
And,
and
like-
we've had our own share of bad actors and
I mean, but, like...
and questionable skill.
But, like, acting has always been my favorite part of the process, and working with actors has
Yeah.
always been my favorite part of the process. So I'd like to at least think, I've had, like, a friend or two and a movie or two that, like, maybe wasn't great. But, like, I've worked really hard to find high caliber performances
what you
at
try
every level.
what you try to do as a filmmaker, and I've always said this, is that you whatever actors you get, whether they're professionals who have like, credits as long as my arm, or, maybe amateurs, is you try to go ahead and, as a director, get their performance, not necessarily, where it is in your head, because honestly, no actor is going to get to where it's at in your head. Or
two, that can be dangerous because they can sometimes give you something you never.
And that's what I'm saying, is you want to get them to kind of close to where you're in your head the character is, but also allow them to bring something to the table. So that's how real film directors deal with actors. That's not what we have here.
Some actors are good in anything, and some actors are Halle Berry.
These were not even Halle Berry.
My point is, like, you look at Monsters Ball, like, watch Monsters Ball, and then right after watch Catwoman, and you can see the type of person that desperately needs directed. And like, if you don't direct the actor, like, they could be Catwoman, or if you direct them, they can win an Oscar for Monsters Ball.
It's true.
So
but
these
like,
actors
in this case,
probably were bad anyways.
It seemed like the only requirement was that they just simply said their lines loud enough to be heard. Like, that's not how that works.
No, it's not. And what gets me is that this film got distribution.
It really did. It made so much money on a Kickstarter for the sequel.
Yes, there is a sequel to it. And they skipped over number 2 and went straight to number 3.
Purposely. Sure.
And what's funny is, did you actually see the trailer for it?
I didn't.
Okay, the trailer for it is really slick. Okay. Like, you can tell that they kind of were like, oh, let's do the opposite and just make a really slick Hollywood-looking film, but we throw turkeys and Muppets and shit like that into it. So it's the exact opposite of this. And I guess that's why you could say that Thankskilling has more of the quote-unquote B-movie charm than Thankskilling 3. But yeah, I mean, it's funny when you look at the trailer. Like, it's Muppets and shit.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, yeah.
So we also forgot to mention the guy that wants to get a blowjob from a turkey.
Oh yeah, that's right. That guy, the guy who went ahead and picked the turkey up.
Yeah, it was like, oh well, I'll give you some ass, and he's like, oh sweet, I'm gonna get a blowjob from a turkey.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It was messed up, you guys.
I will say this: the best scene, at least that I thought in the film, was when the sheriff opens the door and lets the turkey in, and the sheriff is wearing a turkey costume, and he's sitting across the table from the turkey, who's wearing a Groucho Marx like mustache and glasses, nose and glasses, and they're just like having a quick little conversation. You can tell, like, this is fucking ridiculous. This whole setup is, he's saying like, oh, I really appreciate you little people, because he thinks he's a little person. So
yeah. What we're describing here, I bet this sounds amazing, but it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, we would tell you guys if it was going to be like something that we thought you should check out. Like,
no,
stay away from this movie. Just stay away.
If you've seen, the Indiana Jones and the the first one, basically, Ark of the Covenant, Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you've seen that scene at the end of the film when they're opening up the Ark. And Indiana Jones is just like going to Mary and saying, don't look at it, whatever happens. This is kind of in that realm. We're saying if you watch this movie, it will burn your retinas.
We're not responsible for
what happens. And you'll be like, why the fuck did you let me watch that, Brian?
And we'll be
John,
like,
Elaine.
Fucking told you
we'll be like, we
to.
told you right now, don't watch that fucking movie. It's terrible, okay?
God damn it.
I feel this is like, don't go anywhere near tobacco, kids, or marijuana, or you will go crazy and get hairy palms, and all the kids want to go smoke weed. I feel the more we talk about how horrible it is, everybody's going to want to go see it.
That's fine. That's fine. We warned you. Our conscience is clear, okay? Yeah. We warned you, but you have to go ahead and get hairy palms and watch fucking Thankskilling. So that's our main dish. We move on to now the dessert.
Some sweet dessert. Some sweet dessert at home.
Sweet PCP laden dessert?
Yes. Yeah. PCP laden dessert with
murdering dessert.
1981's Home Sweet Home.
Whoa!
Which, if you took 60% of this movie out of it, it would have been like a horrible movie masterpiece. But it's too damn long.
It is very long.
I fell asleep while trying to watch this movie.
Isn't
I
that
really
a ringing
did.
endorsement?
Like, I mean, I'm serious. I was watching the movie and I'm like, okay, when are we gonna get into some stuff? Okay, Body by Jake just popped up. Okay, and all he does is laugh the whole fucking movie.
Do you want to time me on the breakdown?
Yes,
of this one too?
please.
Yes, by all means. Let me reset.
Okay.
Do the thing with the thing. I didn't realize that we were going to be timing you again.
We'll see if this one is better or
all right,
worse.
time to beat is 14.35.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
An escaped mental patient who may be high on PCP is out for blood after, obviously, as he escaped, and finds a family having a Thanksgiving dinner made up of very eclectic, odd people, and he kills all of them except one person.
Yeah.
16.72.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did stumble a little bit in the beginning, so I mean, we'll give you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this film is notable because of the fact that it stars Jake Steinfeld, and you might not know who the hell Jake Steinfeld is by that name, but if you grew up in the early 90s, like all of us did, you might know him by his other name as Body by Jake.
And you might incorrectly know him as Lou Ferrigno.
Yes.
Like, no, that's not him. That's not Lou.
No, he's not Lou
not one of
Ferrigno.
you.
He's not Lou Ferrigno. This guy's got puffier cheeks than Lou Ferrigno does. But yeah, this is one of Jake Steinfeld's only starring roles. Mm-hmm. You know, prior to him becoming kind of blown up with the Body by Jake stuff.
And he apparently took this very seriously.
Did he?
Yes, and he does not like when people criticize it, and does not like.
So
that it
we
didn't
should
turn out
tag.
well.
We should tag him
Oh yeah.
on this shit, right? Is that what you're saying? We should fucking tag.
So we're trolling this Thanksgiving.
We're not trolling. We're just saying that it's terrible.
Well,
okay.
No, look, we're not trolling. We're just saying that he has pillow muscles, and that
Pillow
muscles. They're not real, and he's just a little bitch. And I'd like to see him try to throw a fist at me and not cry because he's a bitch.
In our next video, when we do
our
a
next-
live thing,
yes.
John's going to have a black eye, just so you guys know.
And a Body by Jake. I'm at Unreal J Wolves on Twitter. You throw down a challenge, I'll give you my home address, bitch. Bring it.
No, you'll do no such thing.
Yeah, I was gonna
live
say,
there,
like,
too.
Elaine, you live with him, so
Yeah.
you'd have to, see the punishment
I've been
firsthand.
kind of trying to get out of this whole thing.
Gotcha.
Hey,
gotcha.
she doesn't have to worry about rape. He can't get a boner because of the steroids.
Oh God!
My God! Why do you start a fight
Why?
with someone
Every
every
single
time?
time.
We're not trolling.
No, you're not trolling at all. So
You've made we
Wow.
need to make an enemies list of all the enemies John has made.
I might, you know what? That's what I might have to do. I might have to put a web page
Enemies list.
on
Made
our
the list.
on our Cinema Psycho Show website, and just call it John's Enemies List.
John's
We already know that Burke Ramsey's on the enemies list.
Oh, he killed
and
his
now,
sister.
And now Jake Steinfeld's on the enemies list. So yeah, we might have to do that. But getting back to the film,
it just. I know, like, sometimes we talk about conventions of storytelling, and there's certain great movies that that I fear, that a modern audience couldn't appreciate. Someone who's young now wouldn't be able to, like, sit through, like, longer takes or, like, thoughtful development, but, like, Home Sweet Home's kind of excruciating for that reason.
It really
It's
is.
They left
fucking
nothing on the
slow.
cutting room floor.
no.
There was no discerning. There was no, like, critical eye when it came to the edit. Like, they were just like, this is everything we shot.
Which, by the way, the editing was done by the director,
Yeah, well.
which
you can
you kind of
tell.
figure. But yeah, the film really, you don't know what the fuck's going on half the time. Like, I was watching it just going, okay, are all these people like a family or something?
It was so
or
bizarre. It looked
are they
like
like friends or what?
It looked like
Well,
like
it's
a
friends, isn't
motel.
it? It's a group of friends, I think.
Well, yeah, it
Friends
looked like
slash family.
well, that's the thing. You didn't know who was related to who.
Mm-hmm.
That this character Bradley, is the guy who like owns the ranch, and he's like a failed music producer. Okay, and
Yeah.
so he's drunk all the time.
Right, and so he had his tenant and his tenant's girlfriend. Or
Is that what it is?
There was his tenant.
His
but
tenant
I
and his
couldn't
girlfriend.
tell
Again,
you.
I
this
have
is the
no
whole
idea.
thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This movie makes no fucking sense.
So it was his tenant Scott and Scott's girlfriend Jennifer.
Okay.
And then Harold Bradley, his own girlfriend Linda, and
Okay.
her friend Gail.
I'm glad you've got
Wait,
Wikipedia
so-
open to tell us this.
Yeah, I got you.
You mean the poor man's Charo? She was in there.
How dare you?
Charo.
I love Charo. You can go fuck yourself.
But I will say that one actress had an amazing set of tits.
Which one was that?
So does Charo.
Yeah. She was one of the main two women that go out for wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And she put her best assets forward. I should say tit sets.
Good God.
Okay.
The kind of titties Harrison Ford would just love to stick.
I think we need to add Harrison to the list too, Brian. I'm worried.
Okay, I guess so.
I'm worried.
But yeah, so the basic story is that, Body by Jake is trying to go kill some people. And they don't really say why he goes after this family.
PCP, Brian.
I know he's on PCP,
guys,
but they never say why.
The opening scene of the film is some drunk is in his car and he's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And Body by Jake kills him. And then he turns on the radio, and 9 times in a row we hear an escaped mental patient who might be high on PCP. As
he's getting ready to go inject some PCP into his tongue.
Yeah,
and
that, but it loops for some reason 6 or 7 times in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Hear it.
Yeah. And then he runs down an old lady, and I thought to myself, okay, this movie's going to be fantastic.
And that's what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought too. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah. Yeah, why not? I thought it was going to be awesome. Like, oh, fuck yeah. Run over that old lady. Why not? 10 points.
10 points.
But no, instead that's the peak of the whole fucking movie really right there. Because, you've got some memorable characters in this movie. I think the favorite is Mistake Bradley.
The little
mime.
Yeah.
The rock and roll punk mime.
Kiss mime ghost guy.
So weird.
Yeah. And he's got some bizarre, he's just a fucking hilarious character.
But can I just say that when you play guitar, you need a whammy pedal on the guitar for those kind of sick riffs he was playing.
Absolutely.
So those were dubbed in post.
Was that really your issue with it? was that your whole issue?
Yeah,
it wasn't the fact that he had an amplifier on his back and no power source.
Well, you could tell his chord progression was not right. At least he was playing the right end of his fret. I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying the amplifier with no power.
Yeah,
that didn't piss you off at all.
You make a compelling argument.
But his proton pack of rock and roll.
His proton pack of rock and roll and his bizarre mime makeup. First thing I saw him, I'm like, oh, there's a rock and roll mime in this. Okay, that's cool. And then he's trying to hit on the one girl, the Hispanic girl. That's
Poor Man's Charo.
Poor Man's Charo. Yes, absolutely. I think it was Maria.
And I think that he, if he hadn't been killed, he was gonna take. He was going
to.
And and she was probably, let's say, 28, and he was 16. But it was 1981, so
no, there was no way that guy was 16. He was playing a character that was 16, but there's no way that guy was 16.
I'm just saying the character.
Yeah, the character's supposed to be 16, and then he has a sister who's played by Angel, played by Vanessa Shaw. Vanessa Shaw, you should remember her because she was in Eyes Wide Shut. She was also in Hocus Pocus.
Yes. Oh my God, she's the girl from that.
She was in Hocus Pocus.
She's still really pretty.
She still is. But this was one of her first movies.
Yeah, she was just a baby in this.
Yeah, she was. Well, the whole thing.
Because this was 81 and then Hocus Pocus was 93. So, for her to be young in that.
The whole thing was just so confusing. And then so we have hijinks and lots of murder. But then I thought the very end was very bizarre.
What? See, here's the thing. I fell asleep at the end. So please explain to me what happened at the end.
So they go around.
I know I'm a terrible movie reviewer for saying I fell asleep through the fucking movie, but it's a really 90%
of people would fall asleep.
Well, at the very end, they're just they secure when they finally secure the building. It's Scott and Jennifer at the very end. But then Jay still manages to get inside, and I feel like the cutting was confusing, because you and I were talking about this, John. Do they break the 180 rule, or what happened at the end? The spatial relations were so strange.
Not even just on a technical level, but where there's a killer on the loose, let's all just snug in at the fire. They just... who may be in the house, and let's all just snug by the fire. Well, let's have a pint and wait for this whole thing to blow over.
Yeah, and I don't know, just there was no.
That would have been more interesting.
Sense of urgency.
You had to have him go to the Winchester.
Yeah,
there was just no sense of urgency at the end, and then it's just weird because she's being pursued by Jay after Jay slits Scott's throat. but then she's hiding in his room and then faints and then wakes up like she's not murdered overnight.
No, the killer just waits outside politely.
So I was going to say, did the killer die?
Well, kind of, because, like, he's shot by the police, but then at the very end, like, another officer checks on him, and it's, like, that ending thing where he opens his eyes. You know
it's that bullshit.
So, yeah, I don't know, I wanted it to be, like, gloriously terrible, and it was just terrible.
Well, see, they're probably hoping for that, like, sequel in Hawaii, you know? Like, Hawaii, Sweet Hawaii, you know?
It still wasn't as bad as Thankskilling, but I don't know, just this one.
It was
so
bad
slow.
in a different way.
It was just bad
It
in
hurt
a
me
I
inside.
couldn't stand watching it thing.
I would like to see a fan cut of the movie where 50% of it is edited out, and then it's amazing.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe you should make that cut.
You should.
Yeah.
You should just,
Feel like you
I mean,
have
I don't
to.
think that Jake Steinfeld is going to go ahead and come after you and say, you butchered my masterpiece, or some
True.
bullshit
Or if
like
he
that.
does, you guys can have a Twitter fight.
He's
It'd
not,
be so entertaining.
he doesn't know big words like masterpiece. He would drool on himself if he tried to think that hard.
You want to know something funny? He was actually a trainer for Harrison Ford.
It all comes full circle, baby.
He trained Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's amazing.
Which means that he was probably working on this movie while he was training him.
That's amazing.
This came out in 81.
He probably was like on the set and be like, what are all those bright things are called lights?
Yeah, right?
Or my guess is he was saying, hey, Harrison, I'm working on this movie. It's called Home Sweet Home. It's really awesome. You should go ahead and come out to it. And Harrison's like, well, that's great, Lou. Or Jake. Yeah, I miss you and Lou together. But, I'm busy banging Carrie.
Yeah. I got to tame that strange this weekend. She's wearing the Jabba the Hutt Palace helmet.
God.
Actually, no, but Raiders came out before Jedi, so.
Yeah, and he and Carrie were together before that, so y'all it's ruined anyway.
It's ruined anyway.
Anyway,
so
we hope you guys have something way more delicious on Thanksgiving than these movies
Yes, please don't watch
hope
it.
We
you
can't
enjoyed
recommend
it.
either of them.
No, the trailer, go see it. I mean, see it because it's free and it's short.
Yeah.
If it was horrible, you could do it, but it's actually
Yeah.
the only good thing that we have to say.
And maybe write Eli Roth and say, hey, could you please turn this into a feature film?
Yeah.
Instead of restarting your, Cabin Fever film again.
No, for fuck's sake.
Hey, if you have any pitches for great Thanksgiving themed slasher movies, please let us know what they are.
Yeah,
let us know.
absolutely. I mean, that's exactly the point. I mean, if you go ahead, we might be missing a couple here, but be sure to connect with us and like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, The Psycho Show. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw our way, you can contact us at thecinemaPsychoshow.com. And where can they find all of us on Twitter?
The Unreal J. Wools.
Okay.
At LA_prof.
And you got another show.
Yep, and check out my other show, Super Serials.
You can find me at Brian Coddington. I also run the Psycho Show Twitter. And also make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes to catch our next show, available every Friday.
White meat, dark meat, all will be carved.
Don't forget, Thanksgiving is based around the genocide of the Native Americans. Have a wonderful holiday weekend.